poison. You've been slinging your anecdotes. I've been fucking around while you were saving the world from nothing. The end, things will never go our way. In the end, things will never go. So take it in, don't hold your breath. The bottom's all I found. We can't get higher than we get on the long way down. On the long way down. On the long way down. Burning mud in my eyes, blinding me from the truth. If there's a shadow in me, the dark is a tidal wave inside of you. Taking shots of communion, getting drunk on your antidote. I'll save you a seat next to me down below. The end, everyone will go away. In the end, everything will go. So take it in, don't hold your breath. The bottom's all I found. We can't get higher than we get on the long way down. On the long way down. On the long way down. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Down. On the long way down. On the long way down. So take it in, don't hold your breath. The bottom's all I found. We can't get higher than we get on the long way down. On the long way down. On the long way down. So take it in, don't hold your breath. The bottom's all I found. We can't get higher than we get on the long way down. On the long way down. On the long way
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Merry Christmas Eve. Praise God for the baby Jesus and his swaddling cloth. For this glorious occasion, we celebrate his life. And Merry Christmas to all of my brothers and sisters out there, my listeners who I have not met yet. Wanted to say a couple of things today. I'm going to make it pretty brief. I was torn between Spreaker and a live show on Blog Talk Radio, but it is Christmas Eve. People are traveling. They're already with their families. So I thought I would go ahead and do a quick show. You can listen to it at your leisure if you do not have time to do it right now. Had an interesting conversation, brief in its content, with a gentleman and on a thread about the treason, the sleeper cell in Washington, the usurper, the military, all the things that we cover constantly on the show. Pardon me. And I want to share a bit of that conversation with you. Someone said, we need a leader. We need someone to step up and speak for us. The time for talk is over. Speaking, leadership, all the things that people think is going to be the saving grace for this country, not just for the country. You have to understand you're in imminent danger. I mean, This truly isn't just about a country or a document or documents. It's not about a flag. It's not about history books. This is present. The danger that you're in is in present. It's happening now. It's no longer the history that we're fighting for. It's no longer civil rights or amendments or the Bill of Rights. It's not about any of that. It's about fighting for your life, period. The invasion has already occurred and is continuing to occur. And the gentleman said, we need that leadership. We need that one person to step up. And if someone would nominate me, well, the time for nomination is over. You are the leader. Stop waiting on someone else to save you. You are the leader. And I said, it's the time for speaking is over. It's obvious that a revolution is in our future. And I want to correct that statement because another gentleman responded to that with, as long as it is not a violent revolution. Well, revolution is something that happens through enforcement. So obviously it would be a violent confrontation. And nobody wants a violent confrontation. We've begged the government. We've pleaded with our representatives. We've made phone calls. We've endless letters, emails, tried foolishly to exercise a voting right that is nothing but theater, to change and to make a difference in what's going on with the people. Verbiage is very important. With the flow of my fingertips or a pen, as a good writer or a passionate person, I and others, you, have the ability with words to make you see a picture that is being drawn through that verbiage, to feel the pain of another, the sorrow, the loss, the love, the joy, the anger. So many things come through words. And as I lay here in the bed with my insomnia, yet another night, I posted up something that was very macabre, very disheartening. I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and in those conversations, in confidence, we have very personal discussions. And I feel the pain, I feel the sorrow, I feel the joy through the words that they share with me, through their feelings, their life experiences. And many are not unlike my own. Some of us had great childhood experiences, others have not. Some of us have had wonderful relationships with family members as we have grown, and some of us are very disconnected through dysfunction. Some of us have the joy of partnership, a mate, a spouse in their life, and that have been very faithful and loving and kind and good, and all the things that are supposed to go with that union have been in place, and it's a healthy relationship. Many of us have walked with the Lord, and many of us have walked away from the Lord. And so, in all of the sorrow, I wrote a piece, and I don't want anybody out there, I had a lot of response on that, I don't want you to think that I'm super depressed, or the words that were written were all the feelings of the disheartened. The words I wrote were the reality of many people's lives, and it's a gift to be able to describe it so that you feel it. And it was by no means me giving up or me in some deep, dark depression. It was what I see in the people of the world today. So I probably should have explained that a little bit better, but I'm just getting it out there on the show. So back to this gentleman. Excuse me, I have to cough. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can mute this while I do that. Okay, I apologize. So back to the discussion. And I know that was lengthy, but I want you to understand I know how powerful words can be. So the guy goes, as long as it's not a violent revolution, and anarchy is not good, was his last statement. Well, I need you to understand something. I obviously understand it, and this gentleman does not, and a lot of people don't. And it answers the question as to why people are sitting. You have all this knowledge of what's going on in the world. You have all this knowledge that the government is not serving the people. And here's where that verbiage is very important. Acting as government. I need you to look up the definition of acting. There's several different definitions, but in theater or in deception, acting is a falsehood. Pretending to do something or be something. This government is not our government. This is a foreign body acting as the American government. And so my reply to this gentleman was simply this, and I posted it up. When a body or a country, a body of people or a country is suffering, is being oppressed, is being invaded by imposition by their own government, endangered, bringing the enemy in, funding them. They are killing our people on our soil. They're killing our soldiers on our soil. They're raping our children on our soil. They are forcing you through slavery to fund the demise of your own country, denying you the monies that you earned to prosper in your family, while giving it to the enemy, i.e. Muslims, i.e. foreign invaders, money that they did not neither earn or have the right to. When they fund the enemy and send your daughters and your sons into a foreign land as representation of a military force for the American government that is non-existent, and your family members die at the hands of the very entity that your tax dollars that you were forced to give to the government, that funded, bought the weapon, put the bullets in the hands, the munitions in the hands, the bombs in the hands, the skills in the hands, the provisions in the hands to slaughter your children, your soldiers. That is an act of war. All those things are acts of war. It is neither a revolution nor anarchy to rise up and respond to that. It is called a response to the war that has been declared on the people by their own government. So I wanted to clarify that, and I want you to understand that's probably the majority of the mentality that gentleman had, saying as long as it's not a violent revolution, anarchy is not a good thing. No, anarchy isn't a good thing, and I don't condone it. Revolution is not anything that we want, but it would in fact be a response to the war that has been declared on the people. When a black community can call for the genocide of an entire race, and those that are executing police officers and whites truly believe that that's what they need to do, and it has been funded by your so-called government that is not in fact your government, is a foreign entity. And it goes unanswered lawfully. The call for the genocide on an entire race goes unanswered lawfully. And those people are free to preach it, to recruit for it, and our government is funding it. That money comes out of your pocket. So, you need to understand exactly what kind of a demon you're facing, exactly what kind of a war we are in. This is not circumstance and situations. This is in fact war. And it has been declared on the people. When these things occur, you have two choices. When you have used every lawful avenue that you can to change a situation where the people are in danger or a genocide is ever present, then what we have to do is we have to understand it's fight or flee, people. It's time to fight or flee. Nobody wants to fight. And I'm certainly not a coward, and I'm not going to run anymore. When I can't wake up and I can't have a day of peace, when I can't go out in public and enjoy a simple shopping trip because of the anger that consumes me, because I'm surrounded by people who do not belong here, who are being given benefits that I'm being denied. And when I say benefit, my personal grievance for benefit is that I am excluded as a white person from any special provision to prosper and become a wealthy millionaire by means of a business with the help from or assistance of Small Business Administration or a government program. I'm actually excluded. And so when I walk into a foreign-owned business or I see foreigners with an EBT card in their pocket and they've got 15 people in their family eating a $30 a plate meal, it infuriates me because I have homeless people that are Americans, homeless veterans, and they're dying in the streets. They're not just homeless, they're sick. They're being attacked, they're being mugged, they're being murdered, they're being mistreated. We got one life, people. And once this life is done, it's done. And a lot of people will say, you know, life is what you make it. Well, sometimes our life isn't what we make it. It's what other people make our life. Circumstances and situations are out of your control. When a spouse cheats, it's not your fault. When a spouse is abusive, or a parent or a sister or a sibling, that's not your fault. So life is not always what we make it. But sometimes people are just victims of circumstance and situations and people. So on this Christmas holiday, I want you to mull that over, and I want you to remember we have one Creator, that is God, and He is being blasphemed. Your children are being taught to worship and accept a false god, Allah, and to embrace Islam. They're being told that there is moderate Islam. There is not. They're being told that the invaders are simply refugees or people who are fleeing a bad situation in their country. That is not the case. Pardon me. It is in some cases, but most certainly the majority of them no. We've got whites in squatter camps in South Africa, and the call for genocide on those people is actually being acted out, and it is being given with permission of their own government and without punishment of the people, the blacks who are killing the whites. They're living like cockroaches in squatters' camps. None of those people have been brought in. Where are those people? Where are those refugees? Christians, where are those refugees? They're not being brought in. You figure it out. I've spent this last couple of weeks trying to be a blessing to others for Christmas. Failing miserably in some areas and being exceptional in others. I did it because it's my heart. It's what God put on my heart. It's the person that I am. It's more important to me to send some joy and happiness in the direction for another person, a child, a grandmother, a person facing the possible loss of a spouse. And then I got on today and I see a very good sister and friend of mine, Amanda, has nothing under the tree for her 5 children. And they struggle and they work hard. And it's a good American family. And I love you, sister. You know who you are. I've already talked to you. Had I known, those 5 children wouldn't sit with an empty tree today or tomorrow. Those 5 children are good Christian children. They want for nothing, their mother said. But there are many families like that with minimal means. And meanwhile, foreign invaders are getting $6,000 a month in stipend. We've got a governor in Texas who says, oh, well, I didn't want them here. We tried to block the Syrian. No, you didn't do anything. You're posturing and you're lying to the people because as commander-in-chief, you had the right to turn them away with weapon. You had the right to put your guard out there and not allow that deposit. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter if they're dumped in Arkansas, Oklahoma, Arizona, Texas. It doesn't matter. They're free to travel. And so even if we don't take them in our state, they'll be where they're supposed to be to do whatever it is they're here to do. So you need to think about that. And they're not just from Syria. That's all propaganda. That's watching the left hand and not paying attention to the right hand and vice versa. These foreigners are coming in from every country, and many of them are dangerous. Most of them are dangerous. They're unaccompanied minors or not unaccompanied minors. In a court of law, they'd be held accountable as an adult at 17 or 18. But here's what you need to understand. They have immunity. They have immunity. Diplomatic immunity to do whatever the hell they want to do. They're not going to be punished. They're going to be put in jail, maybe. And then Obama's going to turn them back out on the public, just like he's continued to do with violent criminals and foreign invaders in this country in the last 6 years. Just like he's released them from Guantanamo Bay. Just like he released 5 for a traitor and then gave $50 million of your dollars that he forced you to use. Listen, if you people want to continue to give money away, if you don't want to file exempt, I'll reach out to me. I'll give you my address. I'd be happy to take some more money from you. I mean, you don't have a problem funding terrorism or your own demise or the invasion in the country because you're still paying your taxes. You need to stop paying the bankers. Stop funding your own demise. File exempt. Period. What are they going to do to an entire nation? What are they going to do to a third of the nation? Shut it down. If you know somebody that's on welfare that actually needs it because their jobs have been taken away by these foreign bastards because of the circumstance and situation or because they're sick, you guys pull together and help them. You have a job. Just file exempt. That little extra money you have in your pocket, go help that person that really should be on welfare. Make sure that they eat and that they have the help that they need. Let's help each other. And let's tell the banking cartel and the sleeper cell government, go fuck themselves. Let's shut it down. Let's make the Pope cry, the Vatican cry. Let's make the Queen cry. Let's make Soros and the Rothschilds cry. Stop being enslaved. It's not what was meant for you. All right, I'm going to cut this off. I told you it was going to be a brief show, but I want you to understand a response to war is never anarchy, and it's most certainly not a revolution. It's a response to war. It's called defending yourself. It's defense. So the first shot is fired. The second shot is fired. In fact, there's been over 100 million shots fired at you in this country by imposition alone. of invasion of Islam. So, for my listeners out there, I want to tell you I love you. I want to say Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I want you to take time to sit down with your kids tonight or tomorrow. And although we know Christmas is magical and all the goodies are fun, you know, all the gifts, we get real excited about it. Sit down and tell your children about the birth of Christ and read a little scripture to them. Make them say grace over their food tonight and tomorrow. And we should be doing that every day, but sometimes even I miss that. But sit down and tell them why we celebrate Christmas and the importance of it. And your children are your responsibility. Their blood is on your hands until they reach the age of acknowledgement. Their salvation is on your hands. And once that has happened, Satan and all hell breaks loose, and your children make their own decisions. So you better get Christ in their heart, and you better get it grounded if they're not of the age of acknowledgement. And if they are of the age of acknowledgement, there should be more urgency there than anything, because if they go out and get killed in a car wreck or murdered on the street, or fall ill and die, and they do not know Christ, you have lost them forever. They will not be accompanying you in heaven. So get out and do what you need to do. Merry Christmas to all my friends and my family, to all the listeners out there. Enjoy your holiday. Keep safe. We're expecting, as usual, a higher threat of terroristic activity around the world this holiday season and Christmas. So be vigilant while you're out there today doing your last minute shopping. Pay attention to your surroundings. This is Becky Williams, a True Stinger, True Stinging you from Texas. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm out.